you're welcome back to the Talk with Max. My name is Pastor Barrister Mrs. Amaka Ejike. Today I will be talking about grief, how one passes through grief, what happens after pain, the necessary things that happen when one passes through pain, when one loses a loved one, like a father figure in the family. And here with me on the studio is my very good friend of 20-something years and very dear bosom friend indeed, always smiling. Her name is Mrs. Nwaigwe. I really am glad to have you here, Chi. Thank you very much for accepting to come.
Glad to be here too.
God bless you. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, now I want to talk about the loss of your dad. It was several years ago, but
yes,
when you tell the story, it's really fresh, and I'm encouraged, and I'm really sure that a lot of people out there who have passed through such will be encouraged. They will learn one or two things. Tell me about it. How did it happen?
Okay, basically my dad was that time about the closest person to me.
Yeah.
And he was a very good father figure. So when I was in youth service, when I got the wind of the news that he was not feeling fine, and being used to, I'm somebody that, I'm accustomed to the way God talks to me. So I kind of thought it was just ordinary illness, and I traveled home and I saw him in that state. The first thing I did was, like somebody who has been raised up in God's house, being, aligning herself with the word of God and with people of God.
Yeah.
I first of all took him to my pastor, then he prayed, and we continued. I brought him back. I served him, but I brought him back. So you can imagine I traveled away from Owerri to Jos.
Yeah, you took him with you to go out. That means you believed in prayer.
Yes,
at that
time,
even as young as you were.
It was like bread and butter.
Oh,
to us.
wow,
yes.
wow.
So I never imagined anything could happen to him. So I took him there, brought him back, made sure that he really gave his life to Christ.
Yes.
And when we went over, I was the NCCF mommy, Nigerian Christian Couples Fellowship. I was so much involved in the church. I was an usher. I was in the prayer team. I was which other group was I in? Yes, about 3 groups in the church then. So I never believed anything could happen to my father.
Yeah, that was courageous.
Yes. So when we were praying every time concerning my father, most times I get these revelations, and I didn't see any sign that I was just going to, pass away like that. And I was like my father's daughter. I was very close to the man. So then I got that phone call. After series of prayer, all night midnight prayer was just like bread and butter. We're used to it. We're praying, believing God that he was going to be okay. So I got a call from my pastor that my father needed me home, and I traveled. I was excited. I traveled. You can imagine the shock. When I entered the house, I didn't see him. They were telling me, I didn't even cry. They was telling me that my father was dead. I couldn't cry.
Wow.
I said, is it possible? After all these prayers, after every, that we had done, that my father could die, I didn't believe it until I saw him in the mortuary. So you can imagine the kind of pain, the kind of distress.
I know, yes. I understand it.
We all went through.
Yeah. If I may ask, was it something like the pain? Was it like God has disappointed me? Oh, all the prayers, God, you have failed me. Was there anything like that in your heart?
Yes, in my heart it was like that, but I didn't say it out. Yes, I was really disappointed.
That was quite mature, because many people, when they go through such pain, knowing you have prayed, you've done everything you could, you kind of open up, you let it loose, and you begin to say everything.
Yes, I didn't let it loose. I remember a time when I was in university, I saw my mom. My mom was very down in the dream. I knew that something was happening at home. It was on the point of death. And after that, I now called home, and they told me that period, that it was something else for her.
Oh, really?
So that was the same step I took when I saw my father was not feeling so fine. And I was believing that he was going to be healed, only for me to come home, and I got the shock of my life that after everything, after all the prayers, and how we prayed, how we held midnights, we were sleepless nights, and at the end, it happened that he was dead and gone. I was disappointed. But I couldn't say it because I'm like, in my family, they look up to me.
Yeah,
you understand?
especially spiritual things.
Yes. So I couldn't let anybody except
know that you were disappointed.
I was disappointed. Kind of.
They were looking up to you.
Yes,
they were trying to rely on your own strength.
Exactly. So after my father was dead and buried, my mom was just a civil servant. Things were really very difficult. And it was remaining 2 months for me to pass up on midterm. So pressure was on me to come back home after the youth service. So, and my mom being what she was, I know she was just earning mega income and everything. So it wasn't enough. And we're staying in the flat that time, and it was like landlord was kind of waiting for, let me allow this woman her kids some time to grieve. After that, maybe I ask them to pack out. So I said something about being aligned with the right people. So after my youth service, yes, my pastor called me and said, Chima, why are you going? Chima, why are you going home? What are you going to do? Your mother is a widow. What will you do? Just stay back. And I don't know. I just believed him and stayed back. And through my pastor, I was, I think after a month or so, after staying with him and the wife, we were able to, he was the one that took it upon himself to, that time he had one of the heads in the bank that worships in the church.
I see.
So he was the one that contacted the man. You can't imagine that among those that served with me, I was the only one that had a job immediately after youth service.
Got a job.
Yes, even when they had it, they started coming back to see. Yes. So pastor helped me and I got that job. Not only did I get that job, I got that job and I was transferred down to Aba. I didn't ask for it.
Oh wow!
Yes, I didn't ask for it. So
Elroy sees.
He knew that God does not forget. He does not forget. He remembers. So it came at a point. That job came at a point when my family needed money the most. There was this landlord issue, there were my siblings issue, we were two in the university, and my younger brother was also in school. So the whole load was so heavy for my mom. So you can't believe that thing came at the right time. So
the God of on time.
Yes. Sometimes,
and I'm sure, sorry to cut in. I know that after the death, all that was going through everybody's mind, how do we go forward? How do we come out of this? And that makes the pain more. It makes it heavier. Sometimes when you're grieving, it's not just because you lost a loved one, it's who is going to take care of the responsibilities? Who is going to, what of the things that need to be done? Yes.
God said that He will never leave you nor abandon you. Most times we're always in a hurry to, let the word of God come to pass quickly in our life. But He's a God of time.
Yes.
And His timing is the best.
I know.
And sometimes it might not come that way or the way you desire, but just watch it. With time, God will always do what I said He will do in your life. So after that, during that period, it was very, very difficult. Going against my family's will back to where I was serving. You understand? It's like we asked you not to die your day.
To stay. God proved them wrong.
He showed up. When men want to play God in your life, the real God shows up. So God showed up at that point in time. I can't imagine after that, God gave us a beautiful. My mom bought her first car. She bought a car
for the first time. Widow, for the first time.
Yes.
She was not even able to do that when your dad was around.
At all. She bought her first car.
Wow, that's wonderful.
She was able to change so many things, concerning her life, and even the landlord that was, after us that time, I don't know. I think we paid him 2 years rent.
Imagine upfront.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
We paid him 2 years. Things really took a good shape. After that,
in other words, it's not good to lose hope.
Not at all.
The death of a loved one, the death of a father figure or the breadwinner does not necessarily mean the end of the family.
No.
Yeah, because I think some of the time, most of the time, when that happens, God usually opens even new doors. More doors of blessing, more doors of favor in some cases. And I think your case was like that.
He did that.
That's encouraging.
Yes. God is a God of time and He doesn't leave you, He doesn't forget. Only just align yourself with His word. Keep on speaking His word in your life. You see it come to pass. He doesn't leave His own and He always remembers. always remembers. You know, sometimes as Christians, some of us will just go to church on Sundays and come back. Let me not pride myself, but I knew I was very much committed in the things I was doing in the church. I was not the only copper, but anywhere I found myself, then I made sure I did, you know, what I was supposed to do as somebody who belonged to the household of God. And you know, that time that thing happened to me, I couldn't believe that it could happen to me because of the way I saw myself anyway. But God eventually showed up for me and my family, and we were able to overcome. Bible says He gives you beautiful ashes. Gave us beautiful ashes. Gave us oil of joy in place of mourning. You know, He beautified our life. At the end, you know, you could say that this door closed and God was able to open another door.
Even multiple doors.
Multiple doors. Because somebody was close to her father. And one thing again is sometimes when I got my call up later, my friends, some of my friends in school, most of them were posted to Lagos, Port Harcourt, you know, this, you know, good places. I'll say, well, where is this Bauchi? See, I looked at this, looking so dry. My father said, you must go there. It's not people that all of them are, you must go there. And when I went there, the prophecy there was, this is a land flowing with milk and honey. I'll say, where is the milk? Where is the honey? You know, that's as we continued, we found out that really it was
a land full of milk and honey.
Because not only did I get that job, God, after getting it there, He brought me back home. Yes, and I got closer to my mother because at a point she was just staying alone. So I could also go from Aba to Warri to see her most of the time. Take care of her.
And all that. So and your other siblings, because doors open, they were able to finish school. And all that.
They were able to finish school. My younger sister, even my elder sister, I think she got a job then with I think that was Shell then. Then my younger brother was able to,
nice job.
Then my younger brother was also able to finish. Basically, we didn't lack again. God, Jehovah Jireh, He proved Himself. He was providing for all of us. My mom, you know, was able to smile again.
Wonderful.
So when you look back, you now say, God said everything, you should give Him thanks. So whatever happens in life, always remember that there is a God that is seeing you, and there's a reason why I allow that thing to happen. Just allow Him. Keep on believing Him. Keep on trusting Him. He will come true for you.
I think so, because most of the time when people face this kind of difficulties, when people pass through this pain or lose a loved one, especially a father figure or the breadwinner, it's as if they have come to the end of the road. So, but your testimony speaks, you know, it tells that the end of this road is not the end of everything.
Not at all.
You know, because God is still mindful of us. He's not a wicked God.
He does not forget.
To people who, and you've said it severally, He doesn't forget.
No,
what is this thing that He doesn't forget?
He doesn't forget your labor of love.
Your labor in His vineyard, right?
God does not. He remembers. He remembers.
That's true.
That's quite all the sacrifices you made, you know, to Him, selfless sacrifices, unconditional ones. Okay, you know, doing those things without asking for anything, just because you love God. He doesn't forget. He doesn't.
That's wonderful. I don't know who is out there that is committed, and you know, most people have seen people pass through this kind of thing, through this pain, and on the contrary, they don't all behave like you. They don't have that attitude, but sometimes people pass through this pain and they start questioning God.
Sometimes because they are not aligned with the right people.
Right?
Yes. If you find yourself are you a believer, you're supposed to be aligning with the right people and with the word of God.
All right.
With that, you can push through. You can push through.
Because the people that are aligned with you at that time can encourage you. They might say, don't say this, don't go that route, you know, when you want to lose it and all that. I think you're right.
The importance of spiritual fathers and mentors.
I know.
It's very, very important.
Very important. I don't know what you will have to, word of encouragement. You know, these days people are passing through a lot of things, several deaths, losses, not just the loss of a father, but there are people who have lost their spouses, their children, painful situations. People are passing through difficult times of protracted illnesses and all that. Is there any word of encouragement? What do you say to them, being that you have gone through such a period and being that you came out of it, you know, nice and well, better than it was, than you were, your entire family? In fact, it was a family thing. Everybody came out better. I know all of you, and I know you're really you're better. I don't even know whether you remember your dad or you remember the loss. You may remember him, his blessed memory, but so please, what would you have to say to people who are going through this, or people who have passed through this but found it difficult to bounce back? What advice would you have to
the advice I'll give to them is always take it to God in prayers. It might not always be easy. It wasn't easy for me. I must tell you the truth. You know, I remember for some days I couldn't pray. I found it difficult to pray. But with time, God helped me and I pulled through. Just always take it back to prayer. Remember where you started from, God. You know, sometimes I pray that prayer, God, take me back to the place where I first met you. So if you can take your memory back to your relationship with God and how he has been coming through your life, sometimes you'll encounter one hitch or the other. That's a Christian race for you. So always believe in God. Take it back to his word. You need to know his word, know what he's saying, and believe him. Believe him that you come out from it, that you come through it, and be prayerful also. Because sometimes human beings, we stay and some negative thoughts can be coming through our mind, but you need to disabuse them with the word of God in you. That is my advice. God will come through for you. You pull through. Eventually, the person will smile. You'll smile. If you keep on believing God and his word, you will smile. And you have testimony at the end. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Doesn't matter how long it takes.
I like that.
It's only God that comes sometimes you feel God comes late as human beings, but he's always right on time. His ways are not our ways. Yes, he has told us that several.
So thank you very much. So be mindful of the fact that when you are passing through these difficulties, these difficult times, don't give up on God. Don't give up on God. Trust in him. Keep trusting. Yes, you are hurting. Yes, it is painful. Yes, you lost whatever you lost, but God is still there. And then make time to pray. Connect with him. It's very, very important. Connect with him, because at the end of the day, your help will still come from him. And he sees, just like my friend said, he always remembers. Labor of love, remembers your prayer life, remembers your givings, remembers your sacrifices, your kindness, remembers the good that you are doing, or the good that whosoever you lost whosoever passed, the good he also did. So, and most of the time, he allows things to happen so that he can open newer doors. He can make things better. I really, really appreciate you, Chi. Thank you very much for coming to the Talk with Max. God bless you. Thank you very much. So please, if you have watched and you like the video, please subscribe to my channel and then click on the bell button so that you know when I post my next videos. Thank you very much and see you in my next video. Bye.